The next speaker is the founder of Practical Protocol and EO Global President from 2007 to 2008, Mrs. Shelby Scarbrough. Thank you for coming.
"85 years ago, and 25 short miles from here, a man named Jimmy Mattern, a pioneer aviator and an entrepreneur, before we talked about entrepreneurs in that way, took off from Floyd Bennett Field to be the first to solo flight around the world. He was part of one of many who wanted to win that prize, that contest in this golden age of flight. He was scrappy and resourceful. He was brave. He was a disruptor. He had to go out and raise his own money. He had to promote himself. He was a marketer, maybe even a marketing genius. He was bold. He loaded his Lockheed Vega, stem to stern with gas cans loaned to him by friends such as Amelia Earhart and others, and took off with only the stars to guide him across the Atlantic and on his flight around the world. He set off with the horizons of unlimited possibilities. He felt he was fully prepared for this flight, except when he got out over that Atlantic and the sun started to set, he realized that he had no one to share the journey with. There were no communication tools, there were no instruments, and there were certainly no hashtags and no Twitter. Just the stars, his pure grit, and a few chocolate bars to guide him. Today, resources abound all around us. There's educational, formal education, as we've heard about today. There's informal education that we have in such organizations like the Entrepreneurs Organization, where we share our experiences and we learn and grow. We share successes and we share failures. By the way, Jimmy Mattern didn't win that prize around the world. You might recognize the name Wiley Post. Wiley Post was the man who actually flew around the world solo. Jimmy, nearly done with the trip, had engine trouble and crashed in Siberia. In the Siberian tundra, he lingered for 3 weeks until somebody came to get him. They located him amazingly. And then he returned to New York City, where he had taken off to a ticker tape parade. He failed, but we still hailed him. His version of an entrepreneur is of particular inspiration to me. In fact, he probably couldn't even spell the word entrepreneur because he left school at 12 years old. And he actually was my grandfather. My parents and my sisters are also entrepreneurs. We've heard a lot about DNA today, and I think that you can possibly make a case that it is in the DNA. But I also can go for the learned side of things as well, both formal school and the School of Hard Knocks. If you want something big to be done, ask an entrepreneur. We will leverage all our networks. We will step up. We are the doers. We are the dream makers. To accomplish the SDGs, these lofty goals put forth by the UN, ask an entrepreneur. Big visionary goals like the SDGs require big action and big incentives. Like the contest that motivated my grandfather's flight, just like the aviation race, it was inspired by the X Prize was inspired by that. Peter Diamandis talks about how the golden age of flight and those contests inspired him to create the X Prize that has now made something old new again and is taking us out of this world literally. Incent, inspire, and enthuse. If you ask an entrepreneur, we will answer. We're not Fortune 500 companies. We're not Fortune 300 companies. But we're as vast and unlimited as the stars in the sky, like those that guided my grandfather, to navigate a better future. Inspire, challenge, and reward. We are the pioneers who can pilot the world to a future of sustainability. Entrepreneurship is, in my mind, defined by sustainability. This could be the golden age of entrepreneurship. I believe all that the ICSB and the UN need to do to access practical solutions to reach these big SDGs is hashtag Ask an Entrepreneur. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelby.